Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday, everyone. Today we continue with Phoenix Wright. Man, it's been a wild ride these last 2 days. I could be lying if I said that I'm still... If I said that I have moved on from what happened Friday night. It's still bothering me a lot, but less than it was yesterday for sure. But yeah, in time, things will get better. But today is time to be a lawyer and to discover the secrets behind the murder of the jamming ninja. We are going to start very soon, very soon. Just giving time for people to join before we get into the action. Today, no, not today. Tomorrow I may stream longer because I have some extra time, and yeah, I think tomorrow I may stream a little longer. Hopefully things will go fine. I hope so too, Bodoka, and welcome. Thanks for joining us today. I mean, in the end, I'm just frustrated. It's this feeling of injustice that I cannot shake off, you know. I just cannot shake it off. It feels so unfair. But, well, tomorrow we begin a new adventure in Twitch. I'm gonna make a video too, announcing the Patreon, which is already available in the description of this video, and announcing the Twitch streams starting tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think I will be streaming longer, Bodoka, by the way, because I have some free time. So we will have more time to try to get the ending of Hollow Knight. By the way, fastest way to grow the channel is to make TikTok content, unironically. I thought of it, man. I thought of it, but I don't know what kind of content I would make. I will think of it. Like, I need to figure out what kind of TikTok content I can make. I created an account even. I don't even remember the logins anymore. But that's a story for another day. But let's get into Phoenix Wright. Let's get into the game. So let me get this out. This in. I was trying to get the Patreon alerts working, so when someone becomes a Patreon, you would get an alert like the membership one, but I am still working on it. I also need to update the HibiKibot and remove gifted and just make it donation, because there is no more gifting memberships. Okay, let's just get into the game. The less I think about it, the better. So let's get into the game. Okay. That note was with a camera inside the case, wasn't it? So we were interrogating the old bag on the last episode, and we are trying to make her confess to stealing the camera, and that was the way she got the info she has. Vex is right. What? Hello, Black Lockhart, how you doing? And hello, Asumaki, how you doing? Welcome, guys. A camera. Yesterday, Lockhart was raising a huge stink over her camera. Ooh. She kept saying something like my sweetie $1,600 camera disappeared on me. Ooh. Why, witness? What is it, Gramps? She calling someone Gramps is very ironic. If you have the note, then it's only logical that you have the camera too. Ooh. Looks like you found me out. Again, Sonny. Is this the camera you're looking for? That's... What? Even I thought I look like this, I'm still a person, you know? Even though I look like this, I'm still a person. I still eat meals like you. I fall in love and borrow things from people. Borrow, quote unquote. I think your definition of borrow is a little off. I saw that woman's business card and that's when I noticed it said Slimebag Celebrity Photographer Extraordinaire. Well, I saw that. I had to know what sort of pictures she had taken. I'm a professional security guard. It's my business to know these things. Bailiff, check this camera's photos. Hurry. Ooh. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do we have? There is only one photo that seems to be relevant to this case. Please present it to the court. This is the Nickel Samurai. See, I told you that's the guy I saw. This proves that the witness was not lying earlier about this matter. Picture taken in the hallway right after the murder. Ooh. What does all this mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photo by itself does not prove that the person in it is the defendant. However, L. Bluffs? In his own confession, Mr. Engard clearly stated that at the time of the murder, he was still in his Nickel Samurai costume. If that's the case, then this Nickel Samurai is the defendant. Ooh. How did it come to this? I think this brings us to the end. Brings us to the end. Damn it. Struggling to pronounce what word. We have examined every piece of evidence thoroughly. Final comments, Mr. Wright. The court will consider them before we close. Do you agree that this photo is decisive evidence against your client? If this photo... 1 second, guys. Sorry, there was an ambulance. It is still there, but you shouldn't be able to hear it. If this photo is really decisive evidence, then we are done for. But if I raise an objection here and blow it, then I would put Maya's life in jeopardy. I can't make a mistake here. There's only one road to go. Road out of this mess. This photo that Lotta took, there is something strange with it. There is something strange with this photo. I knew this was coming, right? Your thoughts, Mr. Edgeworth? I think we can all agree there is nothing strange with this photo. There is no way for the defense to debunk this photo, even with a bunker buster. Debunk with a bunker buster? Is that what you are planning to do, Mr. Wright? Damn it. Anyway, please look at the photo one more time. Anyway, please take a look at the photo one more time. If you really believe you can honestly find something wrong with this photo, then you should only need one chance, correct? This is my cue to save. Okay. I need to use my observation powers to find the problem with the photo. And I think I have an idea from the snippets we got already. Can I check it? No. Oh yeah, wait. I even don't remember what's wrong with it. Damn. But I think I have an idea already. Isn't the Hakama too long? Isn't the Hakama too long? Because if you compare it, if you compare it to this, the feet are clearly showing. The person inside the costume is shorter. Hello! Hello Porwa, how you doing? Welcome! I have properly updated the description now. So if you guys want to support the channel, the Patreon link should be there now. Well, I have to find something wrong with this photo. I can't let this go by. I must show up to greeting, sadly can stay for a long time. Don't worry, Porwa, I know it's very late for you already, so just enjoy the time you have, and I'm just happy to see you here to say hi. Where in the heck did she take this photo from anyway? It's all out of focus. Why can't she take a good shot, especially when it counts? Now then, let's hear your objection. What about this photo is strange? Oh man, I'm gonna point at the feet because it feels like the Hakama is too long. Yeah, I think this has to be it. I would like to direct the court's attention to this one area right here. Hopefully today and tomorrow's stream go smoothly. I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you, Borwa. Tomorrow I will be streaming on Twitch the finale for Hollow Knight. I may begin earlier because I have some free time, so I want to stream a little longer. Yeah, but maybe you can join for a little longer than a few minutes because I'm planning to start earlier tomorrow. Because I have some free time now. So that could happen. I don't know if I will do it like, but I'm looking into starting earlier tomorrow. So, but you will know everything tomorrow, guys. Okay. So we directed the area to the pants. What are you pointing to? His ankles? If you could see this person's ankles, that would be one thing. However, you can't. And what does that mean? The costume person in this photo could not have been Mr. Engard. What is the meaning of this? I wonder if you would care to elaborate with actual facts, that is. Let's take a look at the Nickel Samurai poster. Oh, good news, Shirley will join either long or short time. Nice. Please pay particular attention to the area around the bottom of the Hakama. His socks, you can see his socks. Exactly, however, in this photo, the Nickel Samurai is clearly holding his Hakama up to walk. There is only one explanation for this. The person inside this costume is clearly much shorter than the defendant. Alright, I think I've turned things around for myself this time. That's curious. Ooh. So your solution for now is migrating from Badland YouTube to Promised Land Patreon? Yes. I will make a big announcement tomorrow. I'm not giving up, guys. I'm not giving up on the channel. So tomorrow I have a video planned. I'm gonna write a good script for it and talk about many things and announce the Twitch streams and the Patreon and everything. That's curious. Huh? What is it? Edgeworth is unusually calm today. Ooh, that's true. He's just letting the trial run itself, as if he's only along for the ride. Along for the ride? What do you mean by that? I can only guess that perhaps he doesn't feel under attack at all. He doesn't feel under attack? Then I haven't damaged his case at all? Mr. Edgeworth, where does this leave us? If the person in this photo is not Mattengard, then everything the prosecution has tried to prove has become meaningless. I figured out it would come to this. What? Right, I have something I want to ask you. I think you have proven that the person inside this costume is not Mattengard. In that case, who is this photo of? Ooh. Oh man, I will have to point the finger at her. She has a reason for murder. Yeah, I know. What you should be focused on is Edgeworth's attitude, don't you think? Yeah, why he's so calm? I heard China banned on... really? Damn. Mr. Wright, let's hear your thoughts. Okay, I'm very sorry, Adriana, but you are short and you have plausible reason for murder, so here goes nothing. Adriana Andrews? If you want to know who that Nickel Samurai is it no one other than this woman? And why would you say it must be Miss Andrews? And why would you say it must be Miss Andrews? What in the world points you to her? For starters, she is short, and she can freely move in and out of Mr. Engard's room. That's very true. Finally, she had dinner with Mr. Engard that night. And how does that all add up? It means that it makes very easy for her to get a certain item. A certain knife with Engard's fingerprints all over it. The knife that was used as a murder weapon. Why don't you say what is it you want, Wright? Why don't you say what is it you want, Wright? I gotta go to bed. Cheer up, Sherlock. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Porwa. I'm still working on getting back on my feet. And see you tomorrow, man. I'll be fine. It's gonna take some time, but I'll be fine. I have to do this now. This is my last chance to turn things around. The defense moves to indict Miss Adriana Andrews in the murder of Juan Corrida. Have a great week, man. See you. It was Miss Adriana Andrews who tried to frame the defendant for the crime. Order, order, order! It looks like this trial has hit a most unexpected development. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. This court is issuing a sub poena for Miss Adriana Andrews. A verdict cannot be passed without first hearing her testimony. Alright, this is it. This is kind of bad for us. Huh? What do you mean? If Adriana Andrews is summoned to the court as a witness, it means that the trial will go on for another day. One more day? If I don't get a verdict today, then Maya... Now then, we shall set Miss Andrews' testimony for tomorrow. Leave leave her alone? Dude, it's how the game goes. What do you want me to do? What am I supposed to do? The judge is about to adjourn the court. Damn. I think I have to wait and see, like... Wait. Or maybe... what to do? I have to do something. The trial must go on. But I don't have anything left. No evidence, no nothing. Now then, hold it. I have heard wasting such valuable time. Edgeworth? Oh god. He knows. Your Honor, I request that you please continue with this trial today. Your Honor, I request that you please continue with this trial today. But we cannot continue due to this unexpected development. Unexpected development? I think you underestimate me, Your Honor. What do you mean by that? That Mr. Phoenix Wright would slave his way to poisoning Miss Adriana Andrews is all. It's all happening according to plan, even if Wright was a bit slow to catch on. What? What is the meaning of your statement, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Adriana Andrews is currently waiting in the prosecution lobby. She is the next witness. Everything was planned out in advance, but by that man? Somehow, I knew there was no way Edgeworth would overlook Miss Andrews. Looks like this battle is far from over. Exactly. Ooh. Very well. We will call the next witness. However, before we proceed, we shall take a 10-minute recess. Okay. Please prepare your witness in that time, Mr. Edgeworth. The court will now take a 10-minute recess. Okay. March 22nd, 2:14 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 3. Dude, I can't believe that Adrian, no way. Not cool and not collected Adriana Andrews. Be right back, taking dog out. Have a good walk, Bodoka. See you in a bit. She's your manager. It would have been very easy for her to pull this off. The only person who had easy access to the knife you used at dinner was, well, her. So after the ceremony during the break, huh? I was sleeping like a log the entire time. She could have easily planted that blood-covered button in my hakama. Because she was the one that came to wake me up. She looks cute in that picture, I agree to that. Then dude, you're saying it really was her? Yes, she's the real killer. She was the one who murdered Juan Corrida. But why? I thought she was bad with Juan. She has her own agenda. Her own agenda? And what are you talking about? I'm sure you'll see by the time this trial is over. It will be all right. I'll get you appointed by the end of today. Get me a Benedict. That's refreshing like a spring breeze, okay, Mr. Lawyer dude? A phoenix? You think her motive is related to Celeste Impact's missing shutdown note, right? Yes. Miss Andrews depended on Miss Impacts as her strength and reason to live. But then Miss Impact suddenly shut down herself. It sounds like she left a shutdown note, and the person thought to have hidden it is Juan Corrida, the victim of this murder. And that's why I think Miss Andrews got close to Corrida. All to get the shutdown note back. That sounds plausible. But one thing bothers me. Huh? What? Who was it first told about their relationship? Who was it that first told us about their relationship? Wait. Better stated, Miss Andrews' dependency issues with regards to Miss Impact's. It was Edgeworth. Okay, so I have a theory. I think Gumshoe told Edgeworth what's happening, and Edgeworth is like, he knew that the dude I cannot guard is not the culprit, and he's trying to collaborate so we can save Maya. It looks like he is still the one in command of this ship. Don't let your guard down yet. Oh god. March 22nd, 2:25 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. Court will now reconvene. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please. The prosecution calls the witness subpoenaed by the court. Miss Adriana Andrews, the person who discovered the crime in Mr. Juan Corrida's room. What is your occupation? I'm the manager of the defendant in this case, Matt Engard. I see now then. Before we begin, Your Honor, I have one request. Yeah, sure. What is it? I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing. I would love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly magazine recently. No, I have no idea what you mean. I have never even heard of Gossipland. if the judge was ever a prosecution witness, he'd do all my work for me. That's very true. She's so cute. Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relationship with the victim. Yes, I was seeing Mr. Corrida. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan. But this was a private matter between Juan and myself. Miss Adriana Andrews, please save me. So it was fry and bait matter, or was that bait and fry? Reminds me of fishing. Hello, Mikan! Hello, BGC! How are you guys doing? Caught up with the stream, reminding to stop after 20 seconds in game. Thank you, BGC. I'm doing a little bit better. I'm still very angry, I'm very frustrated. Like, I cannot take off this feeling of injustice. Just give me a minute, I'll be done with my Duolingo stuff. Take your time, man. Take your time. But yeah, I'm still very... I just cannot take it off, this freaking feeling of injustice, but I'll get through it. It's gonna be fine. But I didn't kill him. No one is accusing you of that. I think there is someone who would beg to differ. Oh, what language? That's a good question. Probably German, because I think he's studying German in university. Every time you say her name wrong, I'll deduct items from your Italian fridge. Dude, Adriana is her name in Italian. It's not wrong, it's translated. I'm localizing her name so it makes sense in my head. I think we all understand your relationship with the victim. Now, Miss Andrews. Very well then. Witness, please testify to the court. I'm doing a 4 years bachelor in German. Ooh. About what happened when you discovered the murder that had taken place. No localization. Bro, just cut me some slack. It's easier in my head to say it like that. It flows better. When I found the body, it was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room. If it's easy, then it's a skill issue. GG, yes, it's a skill issue. And there was his dead body. I was in shock. What I saw was, naturally, the exact same scene in the crime scene photo. I felt as I thought I was about to faint. So I poured myself a glass of juice. Say goodbye to the eggs in your fridge. Aha, I don't have eggs in my fridge. Try again. You poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes, sadly, I didn't remember not to touch things at the scene of the crime. Not anymore. Never had them. Ha ha ha. I'm one step ahead. And I disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing. and that is when the fingerprints on the wine glass were made, Your Honor. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Okay, I need some water. Man. Phoenix. She's one cool and collected customer. And she has the brains to match. Yeah, I know. In order to catch a person like her, you have to avoid head-on confrontations. You should disrupt her pacing. Disrupt her pacing. Huh. She's the type of woman who is easily thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking. Big Pearl? No, it's Mia? Yeah, all the power is out. What does it mean when a cat gives you headbutts? I don't know. What is that? 1 second. There we go. I forgot to update the bot. So where was I? Okay. I can see the chat again. Yeah, perfect. So you have to attack when she least expects it. The instant you let up on your offense, this instant is the instant the trial is over. Understand? Oh man. Okay. Okay, so okay. I feel like this one gets me a little bit suspicious. You were in shock. What? Was I not supposed to be? Miss Andrews is a very calculating person. And despite how close they were, I doubt she had a romantic feelings for Juan Corrida, for Mr. Corrida. And anyone randomly stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock. And you can't seriously expect that young beauty like her. What? This is the first time Edgeworth uses a compliment to refer to a girl. Edgeworth has the eyes of an eagle here. Damn! Wait a second. Freaking Edgeworth! That a young beauty like her could not be shocked. Somehow I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not. I see. When I saw... Yeah? Come Sherlock, we all agree with Edgy? Yeah, I'm not denying that. It's just that I did not expect Edgeworth to use a qualifying statement or an adjective such as beauty to refer to a person that is testifying. He's always very formal. Sorry, there was an ambulance literally outside my window, and that would have been very noisy. I muted before it parked, and then it moved away. Okay. Man, glasses do elevate the beauty. Oh yeah, that's why Ayane and Chinatsu have their special... They are also more beautiful than they are because of their elf ears and glasses, you know? Pretty elf with glasses are top tier. Okay, so this statement is, well, obvious. But this one is so fishy. Like, Who in the hell pours themselves a glass of juice? Juice? Yes, there was a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself. But you didn't drink any of it, did you? Huh? There were no lip marks left on this wine glass to suggest that anyone drank from it. I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down without drinking it. Miss Andrews, I would like to confirm with you one more time. When did you discover the dead body of Juan Corrida? When you discovered the dead body of Juan Corrida, you were in great shock. And that's when you poured yourself a glass of juice, correct? And what of it? My mind really was a complete blank at the time. Your mind was a complete blank, huh? I didn't think that was possible for you. Aren't you rude today? I was dazed that I made one careless mistake. That one thing. What one thing? Never mind, it's no big deal. Press further, obviously. What was she starting to say just now? Press further. Miss Andrews, I'm convinced that you said you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. What I really want to know is what this mistake was. Actually, so would I. I'm sorry. It's kind of embarrassing. When I set the glass down on the dresser, I accidentally knocked the flower vase over. Flower vase? Are you talking about the one on top, on the floor in the crime photo? This mess of glass shards. It was originally on top of the dresser, but when I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell onto the guitar case. Why did you withhold such important piece of information? I'm sorry. I thought that since the crime scene was already in disarray, that people would simply assume the vase was just another part of the mess. That's interesting. So, so there is... Yeah, no, it doesn't make sense. What she's saying doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. Because she said it fell onto the guitar case. But if that was to be the case, no pun intended, the case would be wet inside, but it's not wet inside, it's only wet outside. So she's lying. It looks like yet another fact has come to light here. Please add this and anything else you have to reveal to your testimony. I'm sorry, but I have One, I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else. Okay, let me save here. Nah, brother. You testified that you knock the flower vase over. Is this correct? Yes. And are you sure it fell onto the guitar case? Is there a problem with what I said? It's not some problem, it's a major problem. My phone is draining the battery like crazy since the evening. Huh. Make sure that you don't have any apps running in the background, like games or other stuff that can be consuming the battery. It is true that the top of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that's exactly what is so strange. Miss Andrews, you testified that the bass fell onto the guitar case. However, if that was true, the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside. That's very true. Furthermore, there is one other strange thing about this guitar case. Ooh. What is that? Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. The remains of the vase are scattered on the floor. Yeah. And what's wrong with that? If the guitar case was open when the vase fell, the glass shards should be inside, not outside the case. What is your point, Wright? That case was closed at the time the vase was knocked over. That the case was closed at the time the vase was knocked over? Is that all? No. Think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else. Yes, that's right. She did implicitly say, didn't touch the guitar case. She didn't touch the guitar case. But this whole matter with the guitar case is a dead end. The bright red guitar was not found was found at the studio. It has no bearing on this case at all. That may be very well. However, the empty guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case, doesn't it? It seems that there is no deeper meaning to the guitar case. Well, Mr. Wright, do you think we need to hear more details? Yep, make her testify. The empty guitar case. I believe this is a crucial piece of the puzzle. Oh? Huh. I can't believe anyone would reach for straws like this, but it is you. I can't believe I'm doing this either. Alright, I'll follow along for now. Miss Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case. Yes, Your Honor. Okay. Before she testifies, let me collect my thoughts for a second here. So why the guitar case could be important here? Why could it be important here? Why could it be? Okay, wait. There is one thing I want to. Okay, yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Because I read that previously, but I wanted to confirm. So, what is important here is that the only fingerprints present on this guitar case are from Juan Corrida. That is very important, because if she tries to argue, sorry, I had to sneeze. If she tries to argue that she opened the case, her fingerprints could be on it, but they are not. And if she tries to argue that someone else did, someone else's could be, but they are not. And we have that, right? And this one has her fingerprints. Huh. Oh man. Okay, I think I have everything figured out, guys. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but I think I have everything figured out. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the bass over. Nope, that's a lie. It's not a big deal, right? It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. Run security scan, it doesn't seem anything wrong with my phone. Huh. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know. I don't have 37 tabs open, only 10. It looks like this really wasn't a very important point. Oh, Judge, you are so wrong now. This wastefulness is such a familiar feeling by now. That is almost comforting. Huh. Anyway, I'll go ahead and start the cross-examination. Using any way to change the topic, a convenient escape for a weak man. Damn Edgeworth, you are more edgy than before. Okay. There is no way you were the one who opened the guitar case. Why would you say that? It's elementary, my dear. Oh, I feel very Sherlock Holmes now. Wait, that's my name. Because the only fingerprints on this guitar case are those of the victim. What is it, Miss Andrews? You should assume that I must have left fingerprints just because I touched the case. What do you mean? What if I were to tell you that I was wearing gloves at the time? That would be a lie, and I can prove it. Gloves? But why would you be wearing gloves at the time? It was the night of the award ceremony, so of course I dressed up for the occasion. Damn, her back view is so good. Yes, I now remember. I'm almost sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves. I see. Well, Mr. Wright. That is strange. You were wearing gloves. Isn't that a little strange? Why is that strange? Damn, her back is so good too. Well, this is why. I have proof right here. I have your proof right here, this wine glass. The wine glass? You left your fingerprints very clearly on this wine glass. Even if you took your gloves off when you poured yourself this glass of wine, wouldn't you think it was a little it is just a little strange that you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case? She has replacement glasses handy. Damn. Order, order. Looks like you hit the nail on the head this time. Huh? What do you mean? I believe the guitar case plays a very important role in here. She come prepared? Yeah. I wonder what else she's packing. But it's just an empty case. But it is just an empty case. I wonder if it really was empty though. But the guitar, the bright red guitar, was at the studio. Phoenix, drop all your presumptions. What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar. I know now. What was in the guitar case was the nickel samurai costume that she wore to leave the room unnoticed. There was the costume in there. No, it was the costume. You don't mean it was Phoenix, thank God you have the best detective on your back, you know. I admit it would be unnatural for someone to do that. It was me? You wish, man. So the witness was not wearing gloves, despite the fact that on the case... Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactic at work. Steer the court towards an unrelated topic and lull us all into his misguided... Shut up! No, Your Honor. Please recall that Miss Andrew had testified that the bass fell onto the guitar case, which means that the case was closed when the crime took place. However, it's wide open in this photo of the crime scene. I think she was the killer. I'm sure this guitar case has some relation to this murder. If you're so sure, Wright, then I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Please enlighten us as to why the guitar case has anything to do with this murder. Phoenix, relax. I got ya. Can you do that, Mr. Wright? Well, let's suppose for a second. The bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case. Yeah, she has a big one, actually. because she's blaming the shutdown of her mentor on Juan Corrida, because she thinks Juan Corrida hid the shutdown note she left. So I think she feels like Juan Corrida pushed her to that. The bright red guitar, not being the only thing. You don't mean... So you intend to push your theory that the case was not empty, is that it, right? I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove. Deflate that head of yours. You haven't proven anything yet. Now then, let's have it. What was inside? This should work, but is this one. Both Andrews and her mentor both tried to shut down. I know what it means, yeah. I'm gonna present this one. This is a photograph. Yes, but what is important is this in this picture, Your Honor. Is what is in this picture, Your Honor. In this picture. It doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What I'm proposing is... Inside the guitar case, the Nickel Samurai, the hero's very own costume. What? Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Right, are you saying that the witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume? What insane point would there be to do something like that? That insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. Did you see that, Sherlock, her back? Yeah. You boys today. So much sneezing. After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews? I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have anything to support such preposterous idea? Just outside the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop. And in the end, she managed to get this shot, correct? You mean this photo? I mean, I can see her back, but I don't see. Like, her hair is covering most of her back. You can barely see her shoulders. Order, order! It looks like we wander into quite another mess again, haven't we? Nice job, Phoenix. Well, you know, my strategy, speak first, think later. So, real murder. The real murderer was hiding inside a costume. Sherlock doesn't get it. I know, guys, it looks like she's not wearing anything because her hair is covering her shirt. But I have to play dumb, you know. Wait 1 second, Your Honor. The Nickel Samurai's costume could have been Miss Matt Engard's. Why would something of the defendant be in the victim's room? And inside the guitar case of all places. True. That is a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. Okay. Okay, no, this is easy. It was a spare custom. It's obviously a spare custom. But I'm gonna save here. You don't need to. I know, but it's funnier if I do. It's more fun if I do. Mr. Engard did not take his custom off during the break period. In that case, the custom we are talking about was a spare one. What? Then are you saying that on the night of the murder, there were 2 Nigel Samurai customs at the Gatewater Hotel? Yes, that's what I'm saying. And how do you explain the custom was inside the guitar case? Let me think of that. How can I explain that? Let me check. Oh, I see. Wait. I see. Okay. So here's my theory. She plotted with Juan Corrida to disguise as the Nickel Samurai to confess to something in the ceremony, but that was a lie, so he could have the spare custom in his guitar case, so then she could kill him and disguise as the Nickel Samurai to leave the scene. So she lied to Corrida to collaborate with her murder plot. Because Matt Engard has been saying since the beginning that he has no idea what am I talking about whenever I mention the press conference to confess to something. So that's my theory. So I'm gonna push it. And how do you explain the custom was inside the guitar case? It could mean that the victim himself had brought this spare to the ceremony on purpose. But why? The victim, Mr. Corrida, was the jamming ninja. Why would he secretly bring the Nickel Samurai spare custom with him? And what could be the reason? Oh, and I know why her fingerprints are not in the case. It's because Juan Corrida opened the case for her, and then when he was bent over to open the case, she strangled Corrida. What could be the reason behind such peculiar act? And therein lies the sticking point. What? Dude, I know! What are you mumbling about? What are you mumbling about to yourself now? Have you just been rambling all this time without any sense of inner monologue? Huh? No, wait, Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had the Nickel Samurai spare custom? Yep. Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? Think carefully before you answer. And then answer with gusto. I believe you. I believe in you. That's right. Alright, this is what I think. The reason the victim brought the Nickel Samurai spare costume to the hotel was... Okay, here we go. I'm gonna push my theory. This one. What is this? God damn it, I keep needing to sneeze. On the night of the murder, after the stage show, the Nickel Samurai was going to hold a special press conference. A press conference? Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference. I heard about this as well. For once, you're not making something up, Wright. But what struck me as strange was that Mr. Engard himself said he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night. But how can that be? The way I see it, that can mean only one thing: the conference was a setup. By none other than the victim, Mr. Juan Corrida himself. The victim? Yes. The spare nickel samurai costume was prepared for the very conference. Freaking hell. Mr. Corrida was going to hold the press conference as the Nickel Samurai. He was going to dress up as the Nickel Samurai and hold a conference. But why would the victim do such a thing? That's one thing I don't quite know yet. What I'm concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at that conference. The Nickel Samurai was going to confess to something. It's hard to imagine a woman like her decided to kill someone with the most gruesome method. Watching the victim struggle to death will keep while keeping a firm hold. Well, you know what they say, the quiet ones are the most dangerous. And by confess, I wager he was going to reveal something about himself. Which means that Juan Corrida, posing as the Nickel Samurai, was going to speak about Matt Engard. Yes, I guess that's what it would mean. But if that's the case, that's not a confession, that's a public disclosure. Miss Andrews? I can see why you are pros at what you do. Pardon me? Yes, just as you said, the press conference was set up by Juan. Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this. I was the one he asked to help to set it up. And the person who prepared the second costume for him, that was also me. You? Juan had bet everything on the Jamming Ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway. The method used means she was ready to do it. She had made up her mind to kill him no matter the method. Yeah. He was going to ruin him, huh? It looks like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful. Okay, sorry guys. The last thing I need is more trouble with YouTube with copyright issues, so I had to mute the mic there. I hope the music didn't catch on. Well, I'm just very wary now. I apologize. It looked like It looked like somehow Juan had his hands in a secret so powerful that would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. What? If we remove the humor of Phoenix and Maya and their optimistic nature, this game is really grim? Very true. And do you know what this secret of Matt Engard is, Miss Andrews? That's something only Juan knew. I don't know what it is. I see. I've probably been coming off quite suspicious to everyone. But that's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt after all. Protect and guard? Protect and guard. Yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to the light, it seems. Miss Andrews, if you could please tell us the truth about your behavior. Yes, Your Honor, I understand. Those who know? Oh no. Okay, Matt is gay. And because he's very popular between girls, if they were to know that Matt is gay, his career as a toy boy for office ladies and teenagers would die. And I'm not saying this in a derogatory way. It is just a theory. Here we go. Protecting Matt. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. The term boy toy here in Italy is called toy boy, not boy toy. So yeah, I didn't know in English was different. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what. And he didn't have... Now my throat. There is something stuck in my throat. And he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. Let me maybe some gum can help me clear it. Woof! What is this? My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button on the knife. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him. This does account for everything. Well, I am the logical type. No, you're the murderous type. We are finally seeing her true self. She's more nervous than a scared rabbit. If the defense can find no fault in this testimony, I'm ready to make my ruling. Please keep that in mind as you cross-examine Mr. Wright. Looks like somehow everything was swung to the opposite end of the scale again. That means I have to put my weight into this and turn her logic upside down. Would you say that that was your intuition speaking to you? Don't confuse my methods of reasoning with your own. If you want to prove that someone did something, you need 3 things. 3 things? A motive, an opportunity to commit the crime, and finally, decisive evidence. If you think these 3 things through, the answer becomes quite clear. You should have already known that, Phoenix. They didn't teach that to us in school, at least not from what I remember. May I continue now? I have a feeling that If I press her too much, I will freak things up. And she will say that she already told us that Juan knew a secret from Matt, and I'm pretty sure that this is pointless. This one is a little bit sus. You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. The fingerprints on the knife could very well be a clever camouflage. Then, what about the button? The button? It's clear from the crime scene that the victim and his murderer fought, and during the fight, the killer ripped the button from the jamming ninja costume. You're talking about this button, correct? That button was found in the plates of Matt's hakama, isn't that right? I would think that makes it very decisive evidence. But no way. Guys, I figured something out. I will not tell you, but I had something figured out here. Oh, you will see, guys. Looks like you were outfoxed again, Mr. Wright. Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony. I can't stand the sight of a man who can gracefully accept his defeat. Thank goodness, Mia can still look at me. With an icy stare, yes. Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this information to your testimony. Okay. I feel... Okay. I'm gonna do this, okay? I have something figured out. I'm not gonna tell you what. I'm gonna show you what I figured out, and I will let everything unravel in front of you. If I'm mistaken, it will be funny. If I'm correct, it will be awesome. But I think I have figured this out. This is the victim's autopsy report. It clearly states that the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf. Strangulation? The knife stabbed to the victim was done after the victim had already died. And what does that mean? That the button didn't get ripped off during a fight because it's covered with blood. Blood that only got splattered after the knife, the stab, which only happened after the victim was dead. Let's examine the evidence. This button the victim has that has the victim's blood on it, which would mean that it was ripped off the custom. When? After the knife was stabbed into the victim. Exactly, which means it is impossible that this button was turned during the victim's final struggle, because the victim was strangled to death in that fight. That's right, Miss Andrews. There is no way this button was ripped off during the struggle. This button was consciously pulled off the victim's already dead body. She ripped off the button and planted it on mat. That is what it means. What is the meaning of this, Wright? So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim had already died? What does that change? Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Why was the button torn off? What purpose did that serve? What purpose? We know this button was not torn during the fight, so the murderer took the time and effort to purposely rip this from the victim's body. That would mean that the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it? Mr. Wright, does this mean? To pin the crime on Engard, obviously. There is only one logical reason for doing something like that. To pin the crime on Mr. Engard. There is no way anyone would put a bloodied button in their own pants. That's right, Mr. Engard was set up. By the real killer, of course. The real murderer, and then the real murderer is... Well, Mr. Wright, who in the world is the real killer then? Sorry, Adriana. Finally, I can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point. Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet. No, not until the very end. The real killer, the person who framed Mr. Engard is... Adriana Andrews. Miss Andrews. I choose you! Use thunder! I choose you. You are You are Mr. Corrida's killer.
What?
Order, Mr. Wright. This is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence that supports your charge? Any evidence? I have a ton! All the evidence points to Miss Andrews. Sherlock playing Pokemon? Yeah.
How preposterous! You can't stick any of that on me.
I can't, can I?
Would you care to test me? Then, what about this?
The knife was used to stab the victim after he already had been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion onto Matt Engard, naturally. A knife covered with the defendant's fingerprints could have been taken from his room. Sherlock playing Pokemon? Yes. And the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you. How many glasses do you have with you?
Then, what about the button that was found in Matt Hagama?
This button was removed from the victim's body after he had already died. The only person who could have done so were the person who found his body or the killer. However, if Mr. Madengard was the killer, there is no way he would have put such incriminating evidence in his own hakama. Another pair of glasses. Is anyone keeping count of the glasses? The only person who could have put this button into Madengard's hakama. They live in Ace Attorney universe. Phoenix just does that to people. You gotta have a few. 4 pairs so far. Okay, we need a glass counter. Is the person who went to wake him from his nap, which is you. Yet again, Miss Andrews. I see, and what about the empty guitar case? That is also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. Ooh. Guys, cover your eyes, okay? She's changing. The costume was used to hide the real killer identity as they fled the crime scene. And now, who could have known that there was such a costume inside the guitar case? It could only have been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. And the person is you, Miss Andrews.
No,
But Miss Andrews' fingerprints were nowhere to be found on the guitar case. And it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time. That's right. That's because she did not intend on leaving any fingerprints. If anyone had found out that she had touched the case, they would have asked her why. We can have an ejection count too? Yeah. So to avoid any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it. But the glass of tomato juice is a different story. Miss Andrews purposely left her fingerprints on the glass to show that yes, indeed, she was the classic Days discoverer of a dead body. My eyes are wide open. And to top it off, there is this photo. The photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on Earth can believe this nickel samurai is on guard. He would be too much short for his own custom if it was him. Speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not?
Please, stop.
Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? I got her this time. Miss Andrews?
I refuse to testify.
What was that?
There is a law. I say can be forced to testify about something, if it can incriminate me.
Well, yes. You're absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. The law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incriminating, by allowing the witness to not testify if the testimony can cause damage to themselves.
What?
Pleading the fifth is not something that most people would think to do on the spot. Americans, you know this stuff. Actually, thinking back to yesterday in Mr. Engard's room. Adriana Andrews.
Yes?
Think hard. Think hard about what we just discussed, understood? Yep, it's a real thing. Pleading the fifth, yeah.
Alright.
Freaking Francisca! She told her the 5th. That's when Francisca planted the idea into her head. She must have told Andrews to not testify if things looked bad, invoking the 5th. You did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix. But there is still one thing you haven't done. Something I haven't done? Ha! What's wrong, Wright? Are you finished already? Run out of evidence? No, actually I haven't. What's so humorous, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sure you realize this as well, Your Honor. But everything the good lawyer here has proven up to this point is meaningless. What? Everything you have proven is circumstantial. Circumstantial? Yes, circumstantial. You have yet to provide a single piece of definitive proof. Proof that Miss Andrews did in fact harbor a wish to murder Mr. Corrida. I know that. Sherlock's. Miss Andrews, you did want to kill Mr. Corrida. I believe this may lead to me incriminating myself, so I will abstain from answering. But Miss Andrews, if you do that, it would be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think? Maybe so, or maybe not. There is nothing to prove either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I would be guilty of due to my silence. No, she's not taking that defiant attitude again. Mia, what should we do? Somehow, we've landed in the worst possible situation. What? No! Sherlock, inventory is nothing but if not filled with evidence. Exactly! I think we have reached a certain conclusion at this point in time. Miss Adriana Andrews has refused to testify, and the defense theory that she's the actual murderer has not been fully sustained with solid definitive proof. But that's not true. In this situation, there is only one thing this court can do. That is to declare a recess. Recess? I request that both the prosecution and the defense look further into this matter. And at tomorrow's trial. Tomorrow? Sherlock collects evidence like Pokemon. Indeed I do. I'm gonna catch them all. All the villains I will catch. We don't have a tomorrow. If you don't get a not guilty verdict today, then... Please wait, Your Honor. That's not necessary. The trial... Please continue the trial. What are you sweating for? Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he? That's not it. This is not about that. Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Please let the trial continue. If I don't get the verdict, then Maya. But it's impossible to continue as long as the witness refuses to testify. Now then, this court is... It is not impossible for this trial to continue. It is not impossible for this trial to continue. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you? It is true that Miss Andrew holds the right against self-incrimination. However, if the topic of conversation were something unrelated to whatever she may be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony. Yes, that is very true, but... Actually, there is one little thing that I'm curious about. Miss Andrews, when you found the victim's body, you poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes, and? I can't help but to think how natural that is. And
Usually when someone finds a body, they are taken up, not stirring a glass of juice. So my actions were unusual, but I've already... Before you speak, I want to state that if you have a reason behind your actions, I would like you to testify to that effect. Testify?
Your Honor.
Your Honor, I would like to request that the witness testify again. As to what happened when she first discovered the victim body. Whatever we find out in this testimony should in no way implicate the witness.
Edgy came in clutch, yeah.
I don't know what is going on with Edgeworth today, but I can't get a good read of him. If he's friend or foe, I just don't know.
The court acknowledges the prosecution request. Miss Andrews, if you please. Okay, this is complicated. When I found the body, the glass of juice, I didn't really put it for myself. I was surprised when I walked into the room and I saw it in a messy state.
And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. When I saw him sitting like that, the thought was he was dead. Didn't cross my mind. To be honest, I thought he had fainted or something. So I went to put him some juice. When I realized he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase.
We know Edgy got our back, doing the right thing, yeah.
So you poured that glass of juice for the victim.
Why didn't you say that in your earlier testimony?
I didn't think I needed to include something so trivial.
Phoenix, please be careful here.
If you can find anything wrong with this testimony, there is nothing left.
I know.
Edgeworth, what the heck is going in that brain of yours?
Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Okay, I think this is one of those points in the game in which I have to press on everything, but I'm gonna save just in case this can be dangerous. But there wasn't anyone else in the room, right?
Of course not.
Then who did you put it for?
Mr. Wright, there is a rhyme and a reason for everything. Can you just wait a little longer for it to be revealed to you?
There is no way she didn't notice the blood on the knife. Yeah, she's just playing dumb.
In other words, Wright, be quiet and listen. Precisely. I'm an asshole. Precisely, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay, you couldn't have said it better, okay.
I was surprised when I walked into the room and saw it in that messy state.
So it was a mess. Are you sure it wasn't messy because your fight with Mr. Corrida?
I understand your frustration at not being able to prove your theory, however. Before you go accusing of people of crimes, go find yourself some evidence.
Ugh.
And then, what did you see next, witness? And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner.
Slumped over?
Yes, he was sitting there with his head tilted forward and eyes closed. He really looked like he was sleeping. It is just me, or did that right there sound a little odd? Yeah, obviously, he has a knife stuck into his chest. There is no way you can think he's just sleeping. When I saw him sitting like that, the thought he was dead didn't cross my mind. Then what did cross your mind? I thought maybe he had smashed everything up in anger because he lost the Grand Prix. And he felt tired after his rampage, so he decided to take a nap. Anyway, that's what I thought.
I see, so you didn't think he was dead at all?
To be honest, I thought he had fainted or something. So I poured some juice for him. You thought he had fainted. I thought he was asleep at first. But then the room was in such a messy state. I thought he had gotten into a fight with someone.
That's when you went to pour the glass of juice?
Yes, he always had a hard time waking up. So Juan always has a glass of tomato juice to drink.
I see, and after that, what happened?
When I realized that he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over.
And how did you come to realize he was in fact dead?
I took him over and over, but I never got a response. So I set the glass down on the dresser and tried to take his pulse. I was shocked and staggered backward and knocked the flower vase over, so that's what happened. Yes, this is what it all comes down to.
Huh?
This is the absolute end for both sides, Adrian and letting her guard down. Phoenix now is our best chance to kill the prosecution's case. Isn't that a bit harsh? Miss Andrews will tell you us the truth this time? Will you tell you the truth? Will you tell us the truth this time?
Did I miss anything? Am I missing anything here? I don't think there is anything I can do. Wait. Let me see if anything changes. But I really don't know. Okay. The only thing I can think of is, wait. I'm gonna present the photo. I'm gonna present the photo. Yeah, I'm gonna present the crime photo. It is ridiculous. It is the only thing that comes to my mind. How? Okay, I'm gonna present it here. So you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him? No, not at all. Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body. Ah? What is the meaning of this? Isn't this obvious, Your Honor? There is a knife sticking straight out of Mr. Corrida's chest. Anyone who saw this scene would have immediately thought that here was a dead man. And that's, well, you see, I doubt a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who fainted, and then so nonchalantly go pour something to drink. Your point is, Miss Andrews, your testimony up to now is all a giant lie. And your lie has proven one thing very clearly, that you are the real killer. No! It looks like the defense has brought the ugly truth to the light. The defendant, Miss Mattengard, is not guilty after all. But that's impossible, you're wrong. Miss Andrews, try to have some composure. It wasn't me, I'll tell you. It was Matt, I swear it. He was the one who killed Juan. But you were the one who refused to testify, and the reason for not doing it was that you might end incriminating yourself. That's because... Miss Andrews, I will give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you? I refuse to testify. Then there is no reason for this court to continue any further. Mattengard, innocence has been clearly demonstrated. Is it over? Have we found the truth at last? What the heck? What does it scream? Sherlock got too much into the character? I'm trying. My adorable Adrian. What's wrong, Phoenix? Usually the real killer confesses to his or her guilt. And now that I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't. Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mattengard. Your Honor, the prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time. What? The reason is quite simple. This witness has yet to speak about the absolute truth. The absolute, real truth? What are you? Witness, don't you understand yet?
Huh?
I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head. But as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Madengard will go free, and in his place, you will become the guilty party.
That's a lie. I don't believe you.
What?
I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over, and Matt would never be declared guilty.
What in the world is she talking about? Has she lost it?
I can't speak about it, I'm too scared.
It's Franziska von Karma. No, it's the killer. Huh? Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto the words of another. Oh, what the heck was that? Man, don't tell me that she adopted von Karma as her new role model. Because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself. Then right now, Miss Andrews is. Yesterday, she was tossed a lifesaver by Miss von Karma. Don't say a word no matter what happens. If you do, Madengard will be acquitted. Miss Andrews undeniably believes in those words right now and is clinging onto them. Then what should we do? This is the first time I ever come across anything like this. But Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? Oh no. Okay. Here's my new theory. She's not the killer. She's not the killer. The killer is the killer. Okay? But she was instructed by the killer to frame Matt. She wanted Juan dead, and she wanted to get rid of Matt because Matt is annoying. She has something against Matt besides having something against Juan. So she saw this as an opportunity to get rid of both. I'm going to keep going for a little bit. I know we are at the time I usually end, but I'm going to keep going for a second here because I'm really caught into this. All we have to do now is to get our not guilty. That's my only priority.
It wasn't me, I'm begging you, please believe me, I didn't kill Juan.
The killer is us, yeah.
Help, please, help, someone help me.
Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. The court can continue on like this, therefore I'd like to hear what you intend to do. Matt rejected the murder in favor of another, and now they are getting the revenge, a love triangle? I don't know. What I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? Right, I suggest you think carefully about this. Think about what this witness did and what she did not do. And think who is the real mastermind behind this crime. Who is the real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? There is no one else who could be except that woman crying over there, right? Come on now, what will you do? What kind of man are you, Wright? I mean... Okay. I'm gonna pick request a not guilty verdict. No matter what she says, Miss Andrews is the only person it could be. Not to mention, I don't have a choice, I have to win a complete acquittal today. Man, I love this trial, it is really good. Your Honor, the defense believes there is enough evidence to substantiate our claim. Therefore, the motion that this court passes the verdict of not guilty as soon as possible. I'm disappointed in you, Wright. What have you learned in this past year? That's enough. I commend you for trying, Edgeworth. However, it's clear that the defense's theory is the truth. You're wrong. No, I cannot do this. I have to force her. Force her to testify. I feel so bad. I have to win a complete acquittal today. There is no way around that. But I can't bring myself to do it like this. No, when she's making a face like that. There is a cutscene. Okay. Okay, but we don't have too much time. We don't have... Okay. You're wrong. What a shame. I had hoped things wouldn't come to this, however. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth?
Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose to this court. Stop!
Mr. Edgeworth?
The witness... How should I put this? She has an illness. What? And because of this illness, she had tried to commit shutdown in the past. Stop, please stop. No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have the evidence right here. That's the second part of the shutdown report. The attempted shutdown report. What will you do now, witness? I know that I'm about to... You know what I'm about to do, don't you? I will now reveal to the court the true nature of the pitiful woman known as Adriana Andrews. The secret of her dependent nature? Having other people know it scares her more than anything else in the world. Please stop, I beg you. If people finds out, I'll... You are going to say that you would choose death. That is of no concern to me. Edgeworth, how can you be so cold? However, before you die, I will pull the truth from your still breathing lips. No matter what I have to do. So will you tell the court yourself, or shall I? Either is fine with me. I'll talk, but please help me. Nothing matters anymore. My crime. When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted, honest. When I realized he was dead, that was when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. And then I stabbed Juan, Dead's body with knife, and ripped off the bottom. Just when I finished and I was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. And that's why I ended up using the nickel samurai costume.
Stab a body with the knife. Why would you do that?
Isn't it obvious? To pin the blame on a certain person. A certain cowardly man.
What? What do you mean by all of this?
It might take this court a little while to understand, but the truth is, the real killer is Matt, that scumbag of a man. I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again, just like last time.
Last time?
So Miss Andrews stabbed the victim Juan Corrida in the chest with the knife. However, she did not do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Matt and Garth for the murder. And this is her crime. What? How is this possible? I mean, what? Wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer?
Mr. Wright, get over your shock and commence the cross-examination. Okay, guys. I think this is the place to stop. Can anyone... Okay, guys, I need to stop here, but before we stop, I need to ask anyone that knows what happens next. How long do we have on March 22nd in this game? Because if we have just like 10 minutes of dialogue or just one more scene, I have to coordinate stuff for next week. A lot? How much is a lot? Like another full stream? You still got a lot more left? I'm not talking about the case, I'm talking about the date in the game, March 22nd. It is still a long way to end? Just the date. Because I need to coordinate something for the March 23rd in this game. But I need to know. Trust us? Okay, but it's like a full stream. Impossible to reach that next week. Are you completely sure, guys? It's a lot. Okay, I will trust you guys. I don't know if there is a full stream. What date is it in the game right now? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, not the case. Just the next part. Yeah, but next stream, will we reach the 23rd? I'm pretty sure it feels like this is very close to an end. Okay, look. It's fine. I believe that next week we will get to March 23rd. I truly do. Okay. Okay, so next week, guys, spread the voice. Next week, there will be a special event for the next Phoenix Wright stream. It's gonna be Saturday. Next Phoenix Wright stream will be Saturday. Okay, we are going to be moving Phoenix Wright to Saturday because time issues, but I hope, guys, bring your friends, share the thing around. I want to make that a special stream. Okay, so next Saturday at the usual time, be ready because I hope it's gonna be great. Okay, with that said, guys, thanks everyone for watching. I hope you had as much fun as I did. Remember to join the Patreon now that we cannot have members on the channel. If you want to support the channel, it's €2 instead of 3, but I still get €1 from your patronage, guys. So, thanks everyone, and I'll see you all tomorrow to put an end to Phoenix Wright, and I will be seeing you in Twitch. I will make a video announcing everything tomorrow, so stay alert for that. I will be sharing the Twitch link on Discord and in Twitter and in the community post in the channel and in the description of tomorrow's video. Have a good night. Bye bye.